All right, so I've just drained the oil, and I want to show you something that I found interesting.
This is Mike on Cars and Bikes, and today I'm going to show you how I use the QuickJack Lift system. Today we're going to do something fairly mundane. We're going to change the oil on the Corvettes. We've got some new oil shipped in recently from Summit Racing. That's the kind of oil you need if you want to track your car and drive on the streets. It's a high spread oil, so it works very well lubricating for tough conditions as well as fairly cold conditions as well. And so I want to show you where I start in my garage with two cars in here. And now I'll show you how I change the configuration to make it a little bit easier to use my QuickJack system.
No, I didn't do a setup video or unboxing video. I think there's plenty of videos on YouTube showing how people are unboxing the QuickJack. I got mine at Costco and it's pretty easy to set up. What I think is more interesting is to show how I actually use the system. And the whole idea is that on a standard shop setting, you're gonna have a two-post lift and you drive the car in, and it's pretty easy to set the car up in the air and do whatever you need. At home, it's a little bit trickier. You can see I now have one car in the garage and the QuickJack system in the back. And what I like to do is to try to minimize the amount of actual work I have to do, lugging things around, moving things in and out, particularly when I'm getting ready for a track day. I gotta swap the tires, I gotta change the brakes. I wanna spend as little energy as possible getting the car up in the air. And that's where the QuickJack comes in. So my QuickJack, I put on the furniture casters from Harbor Freight, and I keep it pushed over in the corner of the room. This makes it really easy to simply push the QuickJack system around and move it over to the other side. And so now I'll set everything up. On Corvettes, it's important to use these pucks before you lift the vehicle. They slide into the little shipping gates. I like to put them in before I set up the QuickJack because it shows me exactly where I should have the QuickJack pads. Next, you'll want to clean off the hydraulic lines and connect them. It only takes a minute. Next up, we'll use the remote to lift the vehicle. As you can see, I put it on the first point and then you let it back down, and this is a mechanical lock. And there you have it. The vehicle is up in the air. This is how I QuickJack the car up. Next I'll change the oil and I'll see you when I'm done. I'll show you how I put the QuickJack back in its normal resting spot. All right, so I've just drained the oil and I want to show you something that I found interesting. It's an interesting problem to solve here. The oil drain plug has a torque spec of 18 foot-pounds. So in general, it shouldn't be too hard to take off. Very interesting problem I got to solve. And so this is a 15 millimeter socket with a reducer down to a 1/4 inch extension, and then expanding back out to 3/8 to use my favorite snap-on wrench. And this is what allowed me to break it loose. I did try using standard wrench,
with an extender, but didn't really let me get enough grab on it. Tried some penetrating oil, but in the end I needed to use the socket. Now that I figured out how to use a socket on that particular bolt, it should be very easy for me to put the correct 18 foot-pounds on with my torque wrench, which I'll do next. I probably won't show that. Now the oil change is done, 7 quarts, right on the mark, and we get to reverse. And so we'll need to put these QuickJack stands back on the furniture casters and push them back over to the other side of the room, and we'll be done. Pretty good Sunday.